Turns out people do not like having the world's richest unelected man tearing through the departments and agencies that administer our federal government. Yesterday, we started seeing some real pushback with protests in state capitals and large cities across the nation. We saw signs like this on an overpass in the most populous county in New Jersey reading "Musk raided Treasury" and "Musk stole your tax data." In addition to these citizen protests, lawmakers have been speaking out, holding events at Treasury, outside the Department of Labor, today at the EPA. And after a few days of this, we are seeing that pressure works. In just the past few hours, the Wall Street Journal reported that Marco Elez, a 25-year-old DOJ staffer who was given access to Treasury files, the most sensitive payment system in the entire government, resigned after he was connected to racist posts from a now-deleted social media account. Earlier today, a federal judge limited DOJ from accessing information at the Treasury. Norm Eisen served as ethics chief under President Barack Obama. He's now executive chair of State Democracy Defenders Fund, a nonpartisan watchdog group that filed that lawsuit to limit the Musk team's access to Treasury data. And he joins me now. Norm, first of all, this seems like a big win and significant. What did the judge order, and what was your case?
Chris, our case was that Elon Musk and others like him have no business pawing over sensitive data inside of Treasury, affecting every American, financial records, IRS records. And the judge wrote an order, urged the parties to consider it, asked some very intelligent, probing questions about access to this data. And building on the foundation that she gave us, we agreed, and she entered an order that essentially no one outside of Treasury can have access to these records. And even within Treasury, the access must be severely limited. So and now we'll have a schedule for a preliminary injunction, a more permanent relief. We think we have a strong case that this information is protected under federal law, and we're going to argue that case to the judge. But getting that order signed by the judge today was one of a number of significant wins. Trump's autocratic shock and awe, Chris, is being met with democracy shock and awe and a series of court wins in big cases across the country, proving that the Constitution and laws can still counteract this authoritarian push.
We should just know some of that reporting today, just to enter into the record of the individual at issue here who was apparently the one with access to the most sensitive payment system. This is from the Wall Street Journal reporting of this account connected to him. Just for the record, I was racist before it was cool. The account posted in July, according to Journal's review of archived posts. You could not pay me to marry outside my ethnicity, the account wrote in September, according to Wall Street Journal. Normalize Indian hate, the account wrote the same month in reference to a post noting the prevalence of people from India in Silicon Valley. So that's some of the views of the individual that has now been blocked by a judge's order and then resigned. You mentioned other wins in court, and I want to just enter into the record two of those that are important. The federal worker buyout appears to have been halted by a judge as well today. That's a big deal. It's a little unclear, though, Norm. Are you confident they're going to adhere to the orders? Because they seem to be making noises that they're interpreting the orders in ways they don't have to adhere to them.
Well, Chris, they're going to have to deal with some very angry federal judges if they don't. There's been no instance so far. And if they show their true face in that way, I think the Democratic pushback that we're seeing already is only going to intensify. I wrote for the New York Times right before Inauguration Day asking, are we sleepwalking into autocracy? But these court wins, I filed with our wonderful partners, the Public Citizen, the very first lawsuit saying that DOJ's operations were illegal, first of any kind in the country against the Trump administration on January 20th. I'm litigating Trump's unconstitutional effort to change the citizenship rules written into the Constitution with our partners at the ACLU. Today, I was in court all day long arguing for a TRO, and we got an overnight administrative stay. We're going to be back tomorrow morning. That Donald Trump can't release the names of up to 6,000 FBI agents, dox them, so they're going to be attacked. I believe we have the best of the argument there. And I think when you add it up, when you see those crowds gathering, when you see Congress starting to get into the act, you know, these legal wins in the court of law, carry over to the court of public opinion. And this is exactly how popular movements have started in the past. In other countries, they've faced autocrats like Donald Trump, Poland, Brazil, Czech Republic, where I was ambassador. In recent years, they've all ousted autocrats. That energy is what's going to make it possible. So I think it's great that you're not just focusing on Donald Trump's autocracy shock and awe, but the shock and awe of rule of law coming back at him, and very proud, of course, to be a part of that here at State Democracy Defenders Fund.